Hey there, online students. This is Dr. Buer. Welcome to the 9th week of classes. I'm pretty excited that we're past the halfway point and getting ready to head towards home. And so I hope that this video update gets you back on track and ready to get back in the game. I hope that you had an encouraging WEC week. I got to meet with a couple of missions reps that I know and got to renew some friendships, and it's a lot of fun just to see what the Lord is doing all over the world. So I hope that was an encouragement to you, and I do hope that you had a nice spring break and could get outside and do some fun things, despite the fact that the weather was a little uncooperative. I would appreciate prayers for our family. We took a visit to spring break to go to a college my son is interested in, so please pray for us as we start looking at colleges and thinking about how to transition from him being a high schooler in the house to a college student away from us. So at any rate, without further ado, let's dive in and talk about what we've got going this week. In NT104, we are in a very important week. You are finishing up the work on your very first exegetical paper. We've done a fair bit of work up to this point, gotten a lot of evaluation on the particular pieces, and now you get to put it all together. I do want to remind you that the due date for this paper is March the 25th, this Friday. Technically, that's a holiday. I didn't remember that or realize that when I initially set up the due date, but I don't see any real reason to change that, so I'm going to keep that in the course schedule. Now, one important thing I need to go over with you is the evaluation rubric that I use for these papers. It's what every person in the department uses as we evaluate exegetical papers. So I'm going to switch over to a different view so we can talk through that together. This is a copy of the exegetical paper evaluation template that we use within the New Testament department. I've modified it slightly to put it in a spreadsheet form as opposed to a single Word doc, but it's the same information that your friends might have if they're in a different class. And I want to talk through you just briefly how we use this. What you'll notice along the left side is all of the different parts of the paper in the order in which we ask you to present them. So interpretive translation and paraphrase first, then exegetical central idea, exegetical central sentence outline, etc., commentary, etc., all the way through to the validation problems at the end. And what you'll notice is underneath each of those central headings are the key things we're looking for. So for example, in the exegetical sentence outline, I'm looking to see that you have full sentences, that the wording reflects the structure of thought. In other words, the subject complement statements look good. I'm looking to see that you have proper coordination and subordination of thought. I'm looking at the structure of the outline. And then I look to see whether or not you've interpreted the figures of speech. In other words, that you've explained them, not just restated them. And that's the same things that I evaluated when I looked at the assignment earlier. But now I'm going to use this rubric both to help you see where you can improve, but also to speed up the grading somewhat. And so if you go through all of this, you'll see all of the different things I'll be looking for. And this is a good way for you to evaluate as you finalize putting your paper together, the things to look for and maybe any last minute changes you need to make. And you'll see, for example, across the top that we use the scale of excellent, good, needs improvement, and absent. Now, you cannot automatically presume that these would be the equivalent of A, B, C, and D. Obviously, there's some subjective evaluation that goes into play here, and so I get to make some professorial corrections in the sense of grading a little higher or lower depending upon what I think is necessary. But roughly, you can imagine that if you get all excellent, that would be roughly an A, all good, roughly a B, etc. So it gives you at least a good starting point to think about where your paper is going to land. And so my goal is, once you turn in your paper, is to fairly quickly go through them using this rubric. In fact, I'll put fewer comments on the papers that you turn in on Friday than I have with the prior assignments, with the goal of the rubric being the primary means that you understand the grade. Now, of course, when it's all said and done, you can come back to me and ask questions and clarification. Very happy to give that. But this will be a way that we can sort of standardize, but also help you to see pretty clearly the kinds of things I'm looking for. And I hope that what you've gathered is that I'm not so much interested in your particular conclusion that you come up with, but rather the method and the means by which you come to that conclusion and then support it. Exegesis is nothing magical. It really is just good research, good decision making, supporting the assertions that you're making with evidence and citations, much like any good research or proof is going to be. So this will hopefully give you a good guideline to work with, and if you have any questions about it as you finalize your papers for this week, don't hesitate to contact me. As always, as we wrap up this weekly video update, I want to encourage you to get in touch with me if you've got questions or concerns. There's a lot of stuff going on in each of the classes, and so don't hesitate to get in touch with me as needed if you've got something you need to discuss. I do want to end with one encouragement. The Evangelical Theological Society is the professional society for theologians, teachers of Bible in the evangelical world, and we are hosting the Southwest Regional Meeting at DTS on April 1st and 2nd. And I want to encourage you to attend. It's a great opportunity to see different papers, to meet people from different schools. Dr. Doug Moo and Dr. Ed Glennie will be our plenary speakers. So I think it's going to be a pretty exciting event. The cost for students is $20 to register if you register by May the 23rd. So we've got a little bit of a deadline. We've got to get the vendors some numbers for lunch. And so if you register by the 23rd, it's $20. That includes lunch both days, access to the book room, and access to all the papers. If you register after the 23rd or on site, the cost goes up to $30 and there's no lunch included. So if you're interested, I'd really encourage you to go ahead and take care of that now. If you'd like to get more information, just email me and I can send you a program schedule so you can see what's on the docket, and then I can also send you the link for registration. I hope you're doing great, and as always, I'm praying for you, and I pray that God does a great work in your life this week through our classes, and I look forward to seeing you online. Take care and have a great day.